All right, welcome back. So today's explainer is basically a masterclass in digital visibility. We're looking at this incredibly dense, comprehensive catalog of services from a major SEO agency called FirstPageRanks. And what we're going to do is translate all that heavy industry jargon into a clear, digestible blueprint. Whether you're running a local mom and pop shop or a massive e-commerce platform, by the end of this, you are going to understand exactly how digital growth is actually built behind the scenes. Okay, let's dive right into this. We've got 6 structured steps to demystify this massive ecosystem. We'll start with a digital invisibility problem, break down the actual anatomy of SEO, look at local versus niche strategies, cover off-page authority, talk about the real financial costs, and then finally hit on the long-term reality of ranking. Step 1, the digital invisibility problem, or basically getting lost in the crowd. You know, the core problem businesses face today is having an absolutely stellar product, but remaining totally invisible to search engines. To solve that, agencies have to cast a really wide net. Looking at our source material, FirstPageRanks lists their targeted geographies, and honestly, it's kind of funny. It's almost a meta joke in the industry. They list Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Delhi, Zirkapur, and then stretch all the way to Dubai and Canada. But it brilliantly points out that a truly aggressive SEO strategy leaves literally no stone and no city unturned when they're hunting for search traffic. Moving to step 2, the anatomy of SEO, the digital iceberg. When most of us look at a website, we just see the design, right? The colors, the fonts, the images. But the reality of search engine optimization is exactly like an iceberg. What you see is just the tip. The real power, the actual architecture that makes it float to the top of Google, is hiding deep beneath the surface. Any real campaign goes through 3 core life cycles. First, audit and analysis, which is basically diagnosing what's broken. Second is optimization, actually fixing the content, the authority, and the technical backend. And third is maintenance and monitoring. So as you can see, this isn't some one-time magic trick. It's a very logical, ongoing process. Now, within that optimization phase, we hit a vital distinction: on-page versus off-page SEO. Think of it like a house. On-page SEO is everything happening inside your house, fixing up your title tags, organizing your headers, placing keywords perfectly in your text. Off-page SEO, that's everything happening outside your house. It's what the rest of the neighborhood thinks of you. It's building credibility through external links and digital PR. And honestly, you absolutely need both to survive. But holding that entire house together is technical SEO. So the crucial point is, you really don't need to be a software engineer to grasp this. Technical SEO just ensures Google's automated bots don't get completely confused when they scan your site. If your website is painfully slow or broken or totally unreadable to a bot, your amazing content literally won't matter. The catalog details some of these essential back-end fixes. We're talking XML sitemaps, which is basically handing a direct map to Google, implementing HTTPS so the site is actually secure for users, canonicalization fixes, which, look, it's just a fancy tech word for making sure you don't get slapped with duplicate content penalties, plus resolving those annoying 404 broken links and optimizing page speed. These are the structural beams of your digital house. All right, part 3, local and niche strategies, targeting your exact audience. So broad technical fixes are great, for sure. But if you're running a physical storefront, local SEO is your absolute lifeblood. Your strategy has to be customized for your exact neighborhood. This means optimizing your Google business profile, dominating Google Maps, and keeping strict NAP consistency. That's your name, address, and phone number matching flawlessly everywhere online. When someone nearby pulls out their phone to search, these local tactics act like a digital beacon, dragging that foot traffic right to your door. And this brilliantly illustrates how specialized the whole field has become. Because say you run an online store, local map rankings don't do a thing for you. E-commerce SEO requires entirely different tools. You have to optimize individual product pages, you're hunting down transactional keywords, meaning people who have their wallets out ready to buy right now. Plus, you need schema markup, so search engines can just read your inventory and pricing straight from the site's code. Step 4. Building authority off-page, or, in other words, earning search engine trust. We are now entering arguably the hardest part of the entire ecosystem. You can have a flawlessly coded site with brilliant content, but guess what? You still have to prove to the algorithms that other human beings actually care about your brand. To earn that trust, agencies deploy specific off-page tools, high-quality backlinks, guest posting, running full-blown digital PR campaigns. Think of every high-quality link pointing back to your site as a vote of confidence. The more authoritative websites that vote for you, the higher your own authority shoots up. But listen, there is a massive warning label here: white hat SEO. Our source heavily prioritizes ethical, sustainable optimization. If you try to cut corners by buying cheap, spammy links, what the industry calls black hat SEO, you create a toxic link profile. And when Google catches on, and believe me, they always do, they will hit you with severe penalties that essentially erase your business from the internet. White hat means playing by the rules so you actually survive long term.
Okay, Section 5. What does SEO cost? Let's talk about the real investment.
This right here is the most pressing question for any overwhelmed business owner looking at this massive machinery. What does it actually cost to run? Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how modular the pricing is. You're not just buying a box labeled SEO. You pay based on the complexity and time investment of the tasks. Basic on-page services sit around 5,000 rupees a month, while highly complex, labor-intensive digital PR jumps to 15,000. You essentially build the machine based on how competitive your specific market is. But I want to zoom in on this specific number right here, 4,000 rupees. That's the baseline monthly cost they list for initial strategy analysis and keyword research. It really shows that getting your foot in the door, diagnosing why you're invisible, and building a roadmap is actually a highly accessible starting point for practically any brand.
And hey, let's not ignore this number, which is plastered all over the agency's catalog. Because at the end of the day, past all the deep dive talk about algorithms, canonicalization, and XML sitemaps, the ultimate goal of all these complex services is incredibly simple: make the phone ring. SEO is a business growth engine. It's not just a nerdy technical exercise.
Which brings us to our final section, number 6. The long-term SEO reality. A marathon, not a sprint. Let's move to this and see how it builds on everything we've talked about. Drawing straight from the agency's FAQ, the reality of ranking is that it requires continuous monitoring and data-driven planning. You have to evolve whenever an algorithm updates. It's an ongoing maintenance relationship. It is definitely not a static product you buy once and put on a shelf, right? The internet changes literally every single day, and your visibility strategy has to adapt with it. I love this quote from the source material because it perfectly nails the mindset. Sustainable growth remains the priority, ensuring rankings stay stable even after algorithm updates. True digital visibility isn't about gaming a computer for a quick win today. It's about building a rock-solid foundation of content and authority that can withstand the test of time and the constantly changing rules of the web. So here's what it all boils down to. Are you exhausting yourself just chasing short-term spikes in traffic? Or are you actually utilizing these tools to build undeniable long-term digital authority? Think about that as you plan your own digital strategy. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, and I'll see you next time.